In this video, I'm going to teach you everything I know about frontside windups. A frontside windup is used on every single frontside spin, and it's one of the key components to going in generating power and generating rotation. It's more simple than the backside windup. Backside windups are a little more touchy. That said, while doing your windup for frontside spins, there's a few key principles that you need to hit every single time, or else your frontside spin just won't work. So we're going to cover that. We're going to cover how you can train it in the off season, because I spend a lot of time off the mountain working on my windups, working on my snaps, because it really helps when the winter rolls around. So first, let's go over the basics. What is a frontside windup? When you're spinning frontside, you're spinning with your chest going to the knuckle first. This has a couple things that make it a little tricky. The main thing being preemptively opening your chest. This is really problematic because it really limits your range of motion. If my chest is already pointed forward and I try to snap a spin, I only have that much range. And that's why we want to make sure that we're taking our front arm, pulling it to our back leg, taking our back arm, and having it also behind our back leg. This is going to make it so our shoulders closed off, our hips are slightly closed off, even our knees slightly closed off, and that's going to give us so much more range of motion to generate power. And not only are you generating power by making sure your shoulders closed off, but you're also extending your usable range of motion. If you go to snap a frontside spin and you start here, it's going to make it so you want to really over-rotate your upper body. And what happens when you over-rotate your upper body like this, you need to go and utilize counter-rotation to connect your core. I'll go and demonstrate this with a free. So if I go here, and when I try to pop over-rotate, I'm going to need to utilize counter-rotation right away because I've just too much disconnect in my upper and lower body. And this is one of the biggest problems you see on frontside spins. People let their chest open, they overextend, their lower body is too far behind, they need to utilize counter-rotation. And counter-rotation works where it speeds up your spin, brings everything together, but it slows down your maximum spinning velocity. So if you're finding frontside 360s really hard to get around, feeling like you need to use a lot of power, I guarantee it's because your chest is open, you're overextending, disconnecting the core, and then holding this position and needing to utilize counter-rotation too soon. This is also, if you see anyone going and spotting over the shoulder, this is why. So how we go and fix this is just by increasing the range of motion. If you're all the way over here, it's really hard to pull all the way to an overextended position because it's such a large motion. So not only are we having more potential power, but we're also going to be remaining a more solid, stacked body movement that's going to work every time. So how do we want to train this? What do we want to think about? First, I want you to get into your stack position, so weight over the balls of your feet. And this one tip absolutely changed everything for me for frontside spins this year. I can't believe I didn't think of this before. And that is when you're coming in on your toe edge, because you need to do toe edge to heel edge every time on a frontside spin. I was coming in tall like this and then sinking to my heel edge like this. So tall position, sinking, closing. But I realized that that's adding a whole extra motion that you can take out just by making it so when you're coming on your toe edge, you're already having your upper body in the position that will be needed for the front side rotation. So the difference is this: tall, coming down and squatting, and see how that's adding this up and down plane to my setup, where if I have my upper body a little bit more down preemptively, then all I need to do is a slight subtle change. So toe edge, heel edge, toe edge, heel edge. See how much more subtle of a motion that is? And that's really the key to getting these takeoffs and windups so powerful, is making them as subtle and simple as possible. So let's go and talk about just everything. We're talking about everything. I won't say that again. How much do you want to be winding up your snap? So you don't want to be winding up too much where your weight starts shifting to your back foot, because that's going to make it so as you pop up, you're going to leave your back foot extended, and that's how you can get sort of thrown up in the air unbalanced. So your maximum range of motion is how much you can do this while keeping your weight centered over your board. Sure, we want to shift up a little bit to our back foot so we can maintain contact with the jump, but we're not trying to go and close ourselves up to this point where we're starting to be more crouching our back leg than our front leg. Because our weight transfer should only be very subtle as we're coming up, popping, and shifting. See how my weight's slightly more positioned here? That's really as subtle as we're trying to get it. We're not trying to go and get all the way up and over. So feel out that range of motion, feel how much you can close yourself while maintaining a strong position and while not going to have your weight shift backwards. A good zone to aim for this is right hand. We don't want to back up just in case. Is right hand towards the back leg, backhand here, and then I sort of do like a little jab motion. You can fist it up, it doesn't really matter. And then the other thing we're trying to do here is keep our arms a little bit more parallel. If we have our arms up high and we try to throw across our body, it's going to make it so we're throwing downwards over our shoulder. If we have our arms too down and try to throw up, it's going to make it so our arms are throwing us up, lifting us higher into the air. This is more useful if you're trying to like boost a really juiced frontside 360, so then we want to use our arms to help us lift our chest up. But if you're trying to generate a lot of rotation like on a frontside 1080, we want to keep our arms on a more parallel plane because we want all of our rotational energy and all that energy in our torso to be set into that rotation. So that's a good rule. Arms down means you're going to have to pop up. More of your momentum is going to be lifting you up, less rotational momentum. Arms more neutral, that's going to let you generate more power. And then arms starting up here, that's a no-go. If your arms are coming over your shoulders, you don't want that. I say around belly button to nipple range is sort of what I aim for. And then if I'm trying to get maximum juice, like out of a side or something, I'll drop even lower, just like I would for like an ollie or something. Next, and this is probably the most important, and that is making sure that your head isn't coming and snapping over your shoulder. So even though our vision's pointed here and we're looking like sort of over the shoulder, as we pop, we want our vision to be pointed down towards the knuckle of the jump. So this means we need to make sure that we're popping, vision's pointed downwards. And we're pointing our vision down not by going and arcing our body into it like this, but instead just take your chin and let it tilt down naturally. So the difference is this: if I'm up tall like this and try to rotate, my vision's going to be too tall, I can't track the knuckle, that's a no-go. So I want to go and tilt my chin downwards, so as I go and pop off, my vision is set right in front of me, right where the knuckle of the jump is. And this is so beneficial because you want to go, rotate, pick the spot in front of you, rotate over it, while tracking that point the whole time, finishing in that blind landing. So how do we train this? We train this just by going and practicing the snap. So I literally go in toe edge, heel edge, and as I'm getting to my heel edge, wind up, snap. And I'm just trying to train my effective range of motion to go and leave me off of this point of an overextension. You never want to be rotating your upper body more than 90 degrees. You rotate more than this, core's elongated, you're getting disconnected, it's not going to really work. So you want to make it so your maximum snap point is that 90-degree angle. And sometimes on like a front free or a big jump, I'm only rotating my upper body this much, leading the rotation. Again, one of the biggest problems in all of frontside spins is over rotating the upper body off a lip, leaving the legs behind. So we want to try and make it so our range of motion is here, around here for the takeoff zone. So we want to think about when we're trying to get this timing. The other thing that's really important for this is making sure that you're not winding up too soon. We don't want to be coming in toe edge, heel edge like this. It's just sort of awkward and unstable to hold your arms in that position for a long time. So what you actually want to do is toe edge, heel edge, then close off. Because again, the biggest problem you're going to have is people preemptively opening your chest. So if we go and make it so we're not going and closing our upper body until we get onto that heel edge, that's going to really minimize the risk of going and having our chest open too soon. So when you're training this, toe edge, heel edge, close, parallel, strong, chin pointed slightly down, and then pop, 90 degrees, head face, with the chin tucked towards the knuckle of the jump. And what I want you to do for training this is don't do it too much, just do it and really try feel the motions, feel it smooth. So I like to go and start with a few slow motions. So toe edge, heel edge, wind up, snap, and then I'll go and start adding more power. And I actually make that little because I'm feeling my core flex, I'm feeling that air push out. So we're going in toe edge, heel edge, wind up, and this is just really powerful training, pulling it through. Is there anything else on the front side takeoff that you really want to watch out for? Oh yeah, this is really important and something that also really was a game changer for me. And that was making sure that your angle is slightly towards the corner of a jump. So if we have a jump right here, this is the center, instead of trying to aim it so our board's coming off straight, we want to aim it so our board's slightly angled towards the left side because I'm goofy. So here, instead of being completely parallel, trying to take off with my board parallel, instead I'm going to try tilt my hips and angle it slightly this way. This is increasing range of motion, making it hard to over rotate and making it so we don't drift as much. And it's going to make it so we go and get a cleaner takeoff and don't go and scrub quite as much. It's been really helping me, and it's just subtle. Instead of thinking about taking off the jump in that straight line, think about closing off, keeping your head pointed there, shifting, popping, rotating, and it just works so much better. It's actually mind-numbing how much better it works. So final recap, how do we want to train this? Again, it's not as complex as the front side one or back side. Wait, first let's talk about leg position. For bending your legs on a front side spin, we don't want too much bend. If we're bent down all the way here, we're not going to have explosive range of motion because that's just too squatted down. And when you're in this position, the G's of a jump are going to make it really likely that you'll sit back and take off on an angle. We're really trying to think about these rotations as if we're spinning hard way. So that means off the toes. So even though we're doing the setup carve like we're going off our heels, we want to try to keep our weight generally set as over top of our snowboard as possible. So a really good way to do this is to think of it as if you're spinning hard way. So I'm doing the setup carve, trying to keep my board slightly angled towards the left side of a jump, and then I'm trying to keep my weight over top of the balls of my feet, even as I shift to my heels. See how I'm still nice and centered? And this will make it so as I pop off, I'm staying tall over the body, or over the board. The more taller you can stay over your board, the more power you're going to get straight up. And that's going to be a big problem you see. As you go and let your upper body preemptively open, it's going to make it so you get more edge pressure, and that more edge pressure is going to make you scrub and take off from a slight angle. So we want to take this core, pull it over, stay stacked, and think of it as we're popping hard way. And the only thing that's making us go and leave off our heels is our setup carve. And another thing really important to note on frontside spins is it's actually okay to go and pre-spin a little bit. I'd say the limit is like, if you're pre-spinning 90 degrees, it's too much, but like 450 or 45 is a completely good amount. So with that out of the way, now I think we can handle the recap. So come in, strong stack position, get into a position you want to be on your heel edge, on your toe edge, then do your subtle shift while keeping your board slightly angled towards the toe edge corner of the jump. As you go and switch to your heel edge, then close off your arms, getting them both past this back leg. When you're doing this, you're trying to keep your weight set over your board as if you were spinning hard way, with that weight almost set over the balls of your feet. Then you're trying to pop and hit that point of extension with your upper body hitting no more than a 90-degree rotation, 45 to 90 degrees off the lip. When you go and combine that with keeping your head pointed down at the knuckle, you got a really powerful frontside takeoff. So I'm just going to go and demonstrate. Well, we'll demonstrate 5 of them really quick. Feel free to join along. I practice this when I'm feeling it, probably practicing this maybe like 20 reps per week. So it's not that many reps, but it really, really helps. So coming in, toe edge, got my weight on my balls and my feet, shifting heels. Come in. That one, I was a little too angle parallel. Let's try angle a bit more this way because that's what I'm working on. All right, one more. And then see how I'm sort of like trying to drive my shoulders downwards. I'm not trying to like drive them up, matching that angle. I'm trying to just sort of like push through. That really is something that I try to think about. I'm just trying to feel that core get activated, tight. I guess we can spend a second talking about like how the muscle activation is working. When I'm doing this wind up here, I'm feeling my shoulder feeling slightly strained. Like it doesn't feel comfy. I wouldn't want to hold my shoulder here for a long time. It's definitely a little overextended. I'm trying to feel my hips and my glutes slightly caving in. So my whole hips are sort of like shifting this way. And that's just going to give you more range of motion. A big problem I have on frontside spins is I'll go and open my hips first and then I have less range of motion to work with. So that's something I'm actually trying to get better with, is keeping those hips closed off. And from that, I'm feeling a slight bit of core tension when I'm closing off here. And then as I snap, I'm trying to tighten my core, keep it strong as I go and pull through and push. So at this point, I'm feeling an intense flexing sensation throughout my whole core. And that's how you know you're activating it. So those are some muscle cue notes, and it can really help to go and think about feelings instead of just like how you want to be doing it technically. So I know I hit it when I feel my shoulder slightly extended, I feel my core slightly activated, my hips slightly closed, and when I snap it, when I feel my core get tight, I'm keeping everything stacked over that tall position, I'm feeling that power the whole way through. That little tight motion, those little tweaks and pulls, really feel good. So go give it a try, test it out. I'm sorry if I missed something. We did this one take, and it's a lot of details to cover, but thanks for watching, and we'll be back at it with another video soon.